Hey, do you reckon you're busy? Today's guest has got 6 children under 19 and 2 fantastic businesses. Join me as she shares exactly how she does it.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I am your host, again, Timbo Reid. You, so much more importantly, are a motivated business owner ready to crank out some great marketing. And that is exactly what we do around here. So welcome, pen and paper, and a cuppa at the ready. Today's show lovingly brought to you by the very good folk at Key Person of Influence, the world's leading business accelerator program for business owners just like you wanting to become an industry thought leader. You can grab a free hard copy of their Amazon bestseller over at keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. Big show today, team. I have a chat with small business owner and marketer extraordinaire and mother of 6, Kylie Roberts. Kylie owns a couple of Endota Spa franchises and is now franchising her own fitness studios, revolving around a dance bar. More on that in a minute. And as I said, mother of quite a few children. And of course, I've got a motivational quote this episode about being different. Like being different, it's good. It makes you stand out. As per usual, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Do you need a speaker for your next conference? Recommend Timbo to your event organiser. Or better still, book him. Tim Reid, that's reid.com.au.
Hey, before we get stuck into today's guest, who is Kylie Roberts, how's your week? Has it been good? You getting stuff done? Is your marketing improving? I hope so. If you listen to enough episodes and, implement enough ideas, it's got to. Amazing feedback from last episode with Rand Fishkin of Moz. Oh, the comments on the show notes, I love them. Boy, they're good. Wonderful, wonderful feedback. You should check them out to see what other people are learning and discovering and implementing. So if you haven't listened to episode 262, do. As one listener said, they nearly didn't listen because it was about SEO, search engine optimization, but she chose to, and so glad that she did. Yeah, I would say that if SEO was ever made interesting and sexy, it's in that episode. Big news. You might have heard Dale Beaumont, past guest of this show and friend of this show. He's got a business called Business Blueprint, generally live events and a bit of online action. He's launched the world's first 24/7 online TV channel for small businesses. Hey, brilliant. An idea ready for right now. Love it. And I am in discussions with Dale about taking the Small Business Big Marketing Show onto is it the big screen? The little screen? I don't know. But doing a video version, a 12-episode series. In discussions, hey? Exciting. I haven't got a great head for podcasting, but you're about to see it potentially on Business Blueprint. If you want to check out what Dale's doing, go over to businessblueprint.com. It is fantastic. Had a couple of fantastic webinars for my forum members in the last couple of weeks. Oh, if only you're a forum member. My good old mate Lukey ran one on nailing your Facebook ads and why you should consider them as part of your marketing strategy. That was fantastic. That's recorded. That's inside the forum. And also, last night did an hour's webinar. Well, it was meant to be an hour with outsourcing expert David Warren, who's been on the show recently, living over in the Philippines and providing outsourcing resources to small businesses in Australia. Went for an hour and 50 minutes, and it was full of marketing GOLD. That recording is also in the forum forever after. So even though you missed it, if you're not a forum member, you can still watch it. So it's been a big week. Lots going on. And, of course, being inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum every day, which you can join. Head over to crankmymarketing.com. It's $69 a month. No lock-in contracts. Try it out. Think of it as marketing insurance. I'm in there every day answering your marketing conundrums. The support for this show comes from Key Person of Influence, a structured business accelerator program that's, well, not for everyone. Founder Glenn Carlson explains who KPI is ideal for.
Anyone that's built a business based around a skill, a talent, or an expertise, where a lot of their revenue is reliant on them delivering that skill, talent, and expertise, we show them how to change gears from being the operator with a supporting business built around them to being an entrepreneur where the business is in fact operating and providing that value so they can take that step back and start to run the business instead of the business being designed to run them. We love working with a small business owner that's sitting on a mountain of value right now that they don't even recognise.
KPI, taking you from being a business doer to a business owner. Grab a free hard copy of their Amazon bestseller over at keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. Righto, let's get stuck into today's guest, who is Kylie Roberts of Aleenta Barre. I got to spell that. We talk about it in the chat, but it's ALEENTA and then new word bar, BARRE. It's a new form of getting fit, and it utilises, those like bars that you see in ballet studios. You've all been in a ballet studio, surely. Hey? Yeah, love ballerinas. I digress. Kylie is a cubicle escapee. Yeah, she used to be trapped in a cubicle in corporate. Not anymore. She went off and bought a couple of Endota Spa franchises. Endota Spa, the biggest spa franchise in Australia, and cut her teeth on running a small business with one of the best franchises in Australia. 18 months ago, she goes and opens up Aleenta Barre with her friend and business partner, and they've already got 4 studios open, right? She explains this whole concept around around bar fitness workouts and how they all work. So I won't go into too much detail then, but listen in because Kylie is an expert at creating fantastic marketing experiences, customer experiences, branding, marketing to women, and she's right into scent, smell, that part of the brand that we often neglect. So lots to learn here. I started off by asking Kylie to share the 3 words that best describe her.
Passionate, entrepreneurial, and a mother.
Like the
Good
last
mix.
one. Nice mix. Tell me about your passion. Is it crazy passion? Does it just get in the way? Does it like once you become passionate about something, are you unstoppable?
Yeah, look, I think I just I love what I do, and I think that's that equals passion for me. So if I didn't love it, I just wouldn't be able to sort of think about it all the time and, be creative and so on. So for me, that's what my passion is. Like we often joke about, what hobbies do you have? And I don't have a lot of hobbies at the moment because I'm a mum, and run a business. So for me, my hobby is my business, and that's what I focus on.
I love that saying. Here's the thing. I talk a lot at conferences to small business owners, and one of the things that I wish, and I say actually in my keynote presentation, I wish that the marketing of your business and in fact the running of your business becomes a hobby.
There you go.
What does that, for me, that means time becomes irrelevant. Even the money that you invest in it becomes less painful. What do you mean by a hobby for you?
Well, I think for me, a hobby is something that you enjoy doing, regardless of the rewards. And for me at the moment, with a relatively, Aleenta is relatively new, there's not massive rewards at the moment. So it is something that I just love doing and think about all the time. And, my business partner and I, constantly, I was on holidays last week and I was meant to be on holidays and I kept on having ideas, and she was like, and after 3 days, she was like, okay, have 2 days off.
Love it.
Stop texting me, just, chill.
Tell me about the idea thing. I love a good idea. So do you literally, something comes to mind and the first thing you got to tell your partner?
Correct. She's in Melbourne and I'm in Adelaide, so we have a lot of texting and emailing and phone calls.
Give me an idea of a text. Yeah, like what would you say? Like, so an idea's just come to you.
Sure. Well, not blowing my own trumpet, but I'll be like, okay, I've just had the best idea. Let's do this next month. And, and we try anything. So generally she'll come back and go, yeah, let's do it. Great.
Do you have a filter or before you text your partner?
No filter. No filters required.
Right. So inbuilt, I mean, you both of you share a similar passion, and clearly, are you different people?
We are very different, but we've worked together for a long time, and so we know each other really well, and we know how each other works really well. So for us, that works because we are very different. We've both got very different skill sets, but that's what makes our partnership work, I think.
So when you do have an idea, and your business partner's name is Claire.
Claire, correct, yep.
When you have an idea and Claire says, Kylie, are you serious? That is the worst idea I've ever heard. Would she be so brutal, or does she tiptoe around eggshells, or what does she do?
No, generally we're pretty supportive of each other. It's not very often that we will say, look, I disagree. But, we are pretty brutal. Like, if we do, we'll just come out and say it.
But you don't agree just for the sake of agreeing, do you?
No, but we have different roles in the business. So I look after marketing and the brand, and that's my expertise and what I've done all my adult life. And she looks after finance and ops. So, it's kind of like you get trumped. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's like, well, it's my call. This is what I look after.
Yeah.
And she does the same. So, yeah.
I read in your bio, Kylie, where you said you had a desire to escape the 9 to 5. So you opened an Endota spa many years ago. Were you trapped in a cubicle at some point?
Yeah, I worked in corporate marketing in large corporates in Melbourne.
Oh, yes. Big mahogany office?
That's yeah, I worked in banking for quite a while, so that, yes, there was a lot of mahogany there.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I spent a lot of time in offices and I can remember distinctly that I was working for one of the big banks, and I had worked on a project for a long period of time, only to find that project got shelved after 2 years. I just had a really big sort of like, what am I doing with my life moment, after working very long hours and, just feeling like I have just spent 2 years and, literally the, click of a hand, it's gone. So, at that point, I think I really decided I wanted to do something for myself, and, I could make the calls on, felt like I was doing something that was worthwhile as opposed to sort of working for the man.
Isn't that just that's why we're in small business, because what we are doing is what we believe in. It supports our why. Whereas, how many projects, have the rug pulled from underneath them in big corporations?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and look, I loved working in corporates, and it,
Hang on, love's a big word.
Love is a big word, but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it because the skills and people I met during that period of time was phenomenal, and I think it really did set me up for running my own business, because I learnt, I had access to the best in the world, in terms of from a marketing perspective and the people I met and the agencies I worked with. So all that enabled me to really, have a really good foothold when I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. The disciplines that I learnt during my 20 years in corporate put you in good stead to some of them actually translate into running a small business, which is kind of nice. You bought an Endota Spa franchise. This is an international show. Endota Spa is one of the bigger spa franchises in Australia. The biggest?
Yeah, the biggest, yes. Yeah, they now have close to 100. It is a brilliant brand, and we bought in 10 years ago now, or over 10 years ago, and there was 4 spas in Australia. And so we've been on the journey with them, and it's been a great journey. And, they've now got, I think, 80 or 90 spas around Australia.
So what was your thing, Kylie, back then? You've had all this wonderful experience in corporate. You go, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm going to start my own thing. But you went to the safety of a franchise. Yeah,
look, we did, because it sort of wasn't planned that way, but I had moved to Adelaide and wanted to go and have a day spa treatment with my girlfriend, and there was no day spas in Adelaide, or none that we sort of were used to in Melbourne. And at that point we were just like, wow, this is crazy. And I couldn't believe that there was nothing here. And it's a very odd story, but I came across Endota. I was reading the paper and I just thought I'll just look in the business area of the paper, and came across the Endota franchise. I hadn't heard about it before, even though the girls that started it, grew up in Macrae, where I holidayed all my life, and just felt like it was, meant to be. And so just everything fell into place. And, I'm so glad that we did join, because the benefits have been, phenomenal in
like
terms
what?
of, well, just not having to do it by yourself. We didn't have any experience in day spas when we started, and, it's really important to have a good understanding of the business model, and we didn't know the business model then. So that's what Endota gave us. They, told us, how much we should be paying people, and, what the, gross rent should be to your, turnover, and all those kind of things that we just didn't know at that point for that type of business. So that really gave us that sort of, I guess it gives you a bit of a sort of safety net, that you've got someone to fall back on to help you along the way. Yeah.
No, you could do worse than learn from those guys, that's for sure. So here's the thing. 2 years, not even 2 years ago, you started your current business, Aleenta Barre.
Correct.
Now, I've got to ask you, before we talk about that and how the idea came about,
sure.
It's sort of a rude question. Will you excuse me?
Okay.
Are you happy
I'm
with
worried.
Yeah, but you should be. So am I. This could go either way. Are you happy with the name?
You don't like it?
I can't say it.
Oh, really? Aleenta?
I can't get my mouth around it.
Really? Okay.
Are you finding you're having to spell it a lot?
Oh, not only for emails. No, I don't.
For emails or females?
Now you're being cheeky.
Yeah, I am being cheeky. I have an interest in...
I love the name. I love the name. So, but I hear what you're saying, but I love the name.
Yeah, okay. I love coming up with business names and things, and I'm always conscious of syntax, the way...
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, and so I struggled with it a bit. But, hey, that's me. What would I know?
Yes.
You're not targeting...
You're a man, I know.
Correct. You're a crusty middle-aged bloke. You are certainly not naming that business to attract me.
That's correct.
So... Aleenta Barre, can you just briefly describe what it is? I did it up the front of the show, but just give us your one-liner.
Yeah, sure.
And then tell me why did you start it?
Sure. So Aleenta Barre is barre is a form of fitness, which is yoga and Pilates, incorporating dance and the ballet bar. So barre has been around in the US since the 1950s. And for girls that have done ballet growing up, a lot of the exercises are around sort of the warm-up exercises that you do during ballet. So that's kind of forms the basis of the form of fitness that it is. And we do different styles of barre. So we have like a barre fit, which is like an interval training kind of class. And we have one that's called burn, which has a lot more a mixture of Pilates and the barre, and then we have one that is called blend, which has a little bit more yoga and stretching in between the exercises.
Right. Okay. So I certainly haven't seen it, but did you bring it to Australia?
No, we didn't. No, there's some other barre studios in Australia, but it definitely is a new form of fitness, without a doubt.
Certainly is.
In Australia, I should say. In the US and UK, which is the US is where we found it. It is very popular, and there's franchise groups and bars, there's franchise groups of 300 or 400 studios over there.
It's kind of like the horizontal version of pole dancing in a way, isn't it?
Well, the thing about it is that it's really effective. So that's the thing.
What, you're saying pole dancing isn't?
Well, I've never done pole dancing,
No,
to be honest.
No, they don't know anything about it.
But for women, it is it's a low impact exercise, and it's a lot of people love Pilates but don't find it's actually challenging enough or working them hard enough. So this is kind of almost like a Pilates on steroids. It's like just that, it's like literally you walk out of a class and the next day you will not be able to walk down the stairs.
Nice.
It's really, really, you feel like you've had a really good workout.
So tell me about the moment where you've got Endota Spa franchise and then you go, you know what, time to start my own thing.
Yeah, sure. So, Claire was the one that came up with the idea about bringing, us developing our own bar studios in Australia.
Was that a text or an email?
Probably a phone call. And we just started talking about it and investigating it and doing some classes and just loved it, and really felt like there was a really large gap in the market at the moment for a female brand, which, is really effective exercise, where females can go in and have a really enjoyable experience. And it's just developed from that sort of idea. And then we, developed the brand and started in February 2014.
Jeez, that just dropped off the tongue pretty easily. Yeah, we just developed the brand. Like, what did you do? Like,
As you do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so easy developing brands. We do it daily.
Yeah, that's right.
What did you do? You had to sell the franchise. I'm gather you sold the Endota franchise.
No, we still.
Oh, you still got it.
Yeah, Claire owns a spa in Melbourne, and I own one here.
Nice.
And they're really complementary businesses. So, we have a number of our studios are right next to Endota's, and it's perfect because it's a very similar clientele.
Yeah, like that. You could have a lady come in for a spa treatment and go, you know what? You need a bit of bar work.
Exactly. Or come in for a bar and go, you need a massage afterwards.
You need a massage. Hey? I like the way you think. So, okay. So what did you do then? You sat round, came up with a name, you found some premises. What did you do then?
Yeah, so we tried to work out what we'd want in a brand, because we had been in marketing and we'd obviously been with Endota, but weren't involved in the development of the look of the brand. We were really excited to be able to create what we thought, women would love. And so we went down the path of...
Let me know when you find out.
We went down the path of creating the logo and, obviously naming the studios, which we love.
Yeah.
And, deciding on the colour palette, deciding on what the brand stands for, coming up with our language around it.
Tell me about that. That's interesting. Language.
Yeah, language. So, we wanted to have a voice that was unique to us and that we felt clearly communicated what we're about, but also because no one knows what bar is at the moment, it was really important to us that when we talk about us, we, had really consistent messages and a really consistent tone of voice, which spoke to women.
Yeah, good on you. Very important.
So we, worked on that. And, it took us longer than we expected, but it all came together at the end, as they do. And
what was the biggest blockage? What stopped you from getting into the market quicker?
Look, I think the design, just the design aspects initially. I went in there thinking I'd be able to knock this over really quickly. I've done this, a million times. I'll be right. And I actually found it really hard. So that actually took us longer than we expected. But once we hit the nail on the head, we got it and we were flying from there. But it did take us a while to get to a point where we felt like we were, in the right place that we wanted to be in terms of, logo colour and just the style of the logo and all those kind of things.
I think you've nailed it.
Yeah. It's hard to... you see other brands and you go, oh, I love that, but you don't want to then replicate them. You want it to be yours, So it was really important to us that it wasn't too out there, but it communicated what we were needing it to.
But it must have given you some also respect for the guys at Endota, because people buy. I often hear franchisees complain about the franchisor, right? Oh, they're not doing this, and the marketing could be better, and this brand bit, blah blah blah. But then now you've been through that process. Do you look at what they've done with Endota and gone, well done?
Oh yeah, phenomenal job, amazing. they've really developed that brand into a beautiful brand. You know,
Yeah, they have.
beautiful. It was beautiful from the beginning, but they have developed it into an amazing brand.
And it's that, as you say, it's that tone of voice, it's the personality, and it's the consistency.
Correct.
Which it doesn't cost any more to be consistent, but,
No.
you know, the signage out the front of your studio and on your business card and on your website, just making sure that it's all coming from the same songbook, as I say, you know?
That's it.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Righto. So now I really want to kind of dig deep and find out about your customer experience, because what I understand is that you and Claire spend a lot of time getting this right. First
Correct.
of all, why? Kind of sounds like an obvious question, but why are you so adamant about a perfect customer experience, and what's it involve?
Sure. So, yeah, I think the customer experience is actually for us the key part of our brand. You know, I think, you know, students can go and have a class, and they can have a great class wherever they go. But for us, it was about having a great experience from the moment you walked into the door to the moment you left. So, like, I met with our instructors this morning, and I was saying to them, you know, we expect you to do a great class. That's just a basic expectation. But what makes us unique in the marketplace is the little things. And it's the little things like sitting at the front when the students arrive and greeting them by name. You know, if you don't know them, introducing yourself. You know, making them feel very, very welcome into the studio. So for us, the customer experience is number one, and that's what we spend a lot of time on, ensuring, you know, the classes are great. And we another thing that's quite different about our studios versus other studios is we have consistent classes at all our studios around Australia. Mm-hmm. So if you come to a class in Melbourne yesterday and you come to a class at Mawson Lakes in Adelaide tomorrow, you will have the same class. So most studios have freestyle classes, so you know they have a range of exercises and you can teach them however you want. It's important to us that the consistency is there amongst all the studios, that you can have the same class, you know, and we change them every 4 weeks.
We always laugh at Macca's, and you and I are both parents, and the old Macca's, McDonald's is, you know, not something we want to visit too often.
No.
Hello to all you McDonald's franchisees listening.
I worked at McDonald's growing up. So.
Right, okay, there you go. But what I was going to say is, I mean, what you're describing is what Macca's are so good at, you know,
Correct.
like just,
yeah.
So again, we can learn from the big guys sometimes.
That's it.
Your I think there must be some other aspects of your experience. So same classes all around the country. You've got someone at the desk when, you know, the class is, you know, 10 minutes before the class is starting. Welcome by name.
Yes.
They're more little kind of what I call 1%ers that you guys do.
Yeah, sure. So I think, you know, for us with females, you know, the senses are really important. So we have our own candles, so we burn the same candles in every studio.
Oh, I love that.
Our tenders have a uniform, so they all have a, you know, clear expectation about how the uniform should look.
Tenders? Tenders?
Yeah, sorry. So we call our instructors tenders, bartenders.
Nice.
So just a fun play on words. So our tenders have a uniform that they wear. You know, they have a certain way they have to wear their hair and makeup.
Wow.
So, you know, we're very specific and clear around the look of our studios. And
any kickback on that?
No, not at all.
No,
not at all. No, they're really...
I remember just recently Lorna Jane, the women's fitness clothing brand, advertised for... I'm going to get this wrong, but
yes,
you with me?
Yes, I am.
A receptionist or someone, and they needed to be fit looking, and and, you know, social media, you know, all the trolls kicked up a fuss.
Yeah.
It's part of the brand, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. It is. You know, when you're representing health and wellness, you know, you need to look like you're a picture of health and wellness, don't you?
I know,
so,
wacky concept trolls.
Yes.
Hey, I've got to ask, Kylie, you struggled getting the design right for the brand, you know, a bit of a control freak there. What about choosing the scent of the candle? How'd that go?
No, that was really... that was not easy, I wouldn't say, but we had in Melbourne someone that specialises in scents, and so Claire worked with him to develop the scents, and then what we did was we actually went and tested them. So we came up with I think it was like 4 or 6 that we loved, and then they tested them, and there were 2 clear winners.
I think it's what are we talking, by the way? Sandalwood or a bit of a bubble gum, vanilla ice cream?
Well, to be honest, funny, we were actually going down a very natural essential oil fragrance, but they were not the ones that were the most popular. It was the sweeter fragrances that were preferred by the majority of people. So we bowed to public pressure.
So tell me, was there, I think it's brilliant. I mean, I don't think enough businesses spend time on scent. Mm-hmm. Was there some research that you'd seen, or where the idea come from?
We just know from Endota that when people walk in the door, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I love that smell," or as soon as you walk in the door, you know you're at Endota. So for me, there was always just that. Just resonated with me that we needed to have a similar, scent is such a big part of Endota. It's not a big part of Aleenta, but that we do have that, that you have a welcoming scent when you walk into the studio. Yeah,
right. See, Aleenta, I'm seeing the double E and I'm going Aleenta every time. Now, that's okay. Tell me, marketing-wise, what's the best marketing that you've done that's generated the most inquiry?
That's a good one. Look, I think without a doubt, when we first started our first studio at Rundle Street in Adelaide, we did two things that got us massive coverage. One was we spent a fair bit on public relations. We used an agency here that got us on the National 9 News, actually around Australia.
Nice.
And the Fringe Festival, I don't know if you've heard of the Fringe Festival, it's phenomenal in Adelaide. We had Fringe performers come and do classes here that got a lot of coverage. So we got a lot of mass press when we first opened. Without a doubt, that was massive for us.
That's really clever. So just so I can understand that, the Fringe Festival, gosh, how do you describe that? It's like comedy, theatre, drama, live events.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, okay.
All of the above, yeah.
So your spin going out to the media to get some publicity was we're reaching out to all Fringe celebrities and inviting them in for a bar session.
Yeah, so there was quite a few sort of acrobats and extremely fit dancers performing at the festival, and so we invited them in for a class, and some not so fit, which was good comedy.
Yeah.
And so came in and did classes, and and we got coverage through that.
You got national coverage on National 9 News.
Got National 9 News coverage.
High fives all round.
I know. Our agency exceeded themselves. They were amazing. Communicate. They were really good.
Do you mind if I ask what kind of budget you allocated to that publicity strategy? Because I imagine you weren't flush with a whole lot of dough.
No. We only. It was a few $1,000s, so it wasn't a crazy amount of money, and we just, I think. Sometimes you luck it, and it was really very, clearly there was very good planning associated.
I think so. I don't think you lucked it at all.
we were lucky that the festival was on at that time, so that worked really well. And we had Adelaide is a great market to launch in because, the Adelaide market is very open to trying new things and to, opening their arms. So, it was great, and we had a week of free classes to kick off, and so we had massive trial during that time as well.
Well, there's something going on Adelaide. Again, overseas listeners, non-Adelaide people call it Radelaide because we kind of don't know whether something's happening there or not. But according to this show, recently I had a lawyer who started a virtual business call. Her name's Sarah Bartholomew. She's from Adelaide. I've had Scott Bucock, who invented Hegs.
Yes, Hegs.
Hey?
Great story.
Great story. Hanging out his wife's little black dress and realises the peg needs hooks. So there is something going on in the water in Adelaide, which isn't that flash the old water. So maybe that's the secret. So now tell me, Kylie, growth. You have big growth plans. You're in your second year of business with Aleenta, and you have how many studios?
So we have 4. We've got another 3 opening before Christmas.
Wow. All company owned, correct? 2
company owned and 1 franchise.
So now you're franchising.
Now franchising.
What's your rush?
First to market.
Love your work. Well, you're not first to market though. First to franchise market.
First to franchise market.
Wow. Now, I've spoken to past small business owners who have been down this path, and the paperwork and all the boxes that need ticking is horrendous. You've got a bit of a head start?
Yeah, we do. Look, Claire and I, we were both involved with Endota Head Office, so we've both acted as franchisors as well as franchisees. And Claire has worked in franchising for 10 plus years, so she is really good with the franchise details. So I'm lucky that I have an in-house franchise expert.
Yeah, sure are.
that knows how to go about it.
What's the thinking? Like first to market's one thing, but there's no use being first to market if it's going to cause a whole lot of pain and a rush job, which I'm sure it's not. But why else? Is it just like you just see the opportunity is now?
Correct. Yeah, and we want to grow quickly, what we've found is where we've got studios and we've got really strong studio managers, it works really well. So Claire and I can't be in every studio, and so we need strong studio managers in each of our studios, and that's where the franchise partners come on board, because they can be our studio partners and be on the ground, and their main role is customer service, is the customer experience with their students.
Right. Love it. And what kind of a franchisor are you going to be?
I think the thing is that Claire and I have learnt a lot by being part of franchise, and Claire's been involved with a number of different franchises. So, the other day Claire said to me, we can't be making these decisions because we do tend to think like franchisees. We need to make the right decisions as a franchisor as opposed to a franchisee, wanting to be a franchisor. But I think that the benefit is that we've sat on both sides of the fence. So we know what works for franchisees and we know what works for franchisors. So hopefully we can create, a fabulous system that takes into account both needs, because for us it has to be a win-win for both the franchisee and the franchisor. Otherwise,
Totally.
Why would you do it? And, I couldn't put my hand on my heart and go to sleep of a night time, if it wasn't working for both of us.
Well, you don't anyway. You're texting and emailing ideas left, right and centre to each other, so there's no time for sleep. Certainly not now. I mean, because between you and Claire, you've only got 6 children, haven't you? Under what age?
I have Claire actually has no children. I have the 6 children.
Oh, you've got the 6. Oh, my God. Hang on. We're just going to start the interview again. There's a whole story to be unpacked. Kylie.
Yeah, the last 2 are twin 3-year-olds. So.
Oh, you're a machine.
It's challenging.
Can I just give you a virtual hug over the phone or Skype, whatever we're doing, because I've got now just masses of respect.
Yes.
6. How old's the oldest one?
19.
Wow. Well, the 19-year-old, he or she can kind of look after the home front, and you just go out to work each day, huh?
Yeah, you would hope, wouldn't you? But
I'm the youngest of 6.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
You know what it's like?
Motherly.
Motherly.
Yeah. So motherly, beautifully motherly.
Yes.
Oh, well, good on you. So how's just to finish up, how's the work-life balance going?
Yeah, it's a challenge, but I think regardless if you have 1 or 6 kids, being a mother and having your own business is a challenge,
Yeah.
So it's about being organised and focused and, getting in and getting the work done and getting home and, being able to focus on the kids.
Right. Okay. Well, good on you. Now, listen, thank you so much for sharing, Kylie. I wish Aleenta Barre so much success into the future. If there will be possible franchisees listening, how can they contact you?
They can give Claire or I a call directly, which our numbers are on our website, which is aleentabarre.com. Or they can shoot us an email at hello@aleentabarre.com.
Nice. And I'm going to spell Aleenta Barre. It's ALEENTA Barre, BARRE.com. And are you on Twitter?
We are.
All right. What's your Twitter handle?
Aleenta Barre.
Oh, clever. Hey, there's brand consistency if ever I've seen it. All the
Facebook,
best.
Instagram, Twitter.
Oh, crazy. Kylie, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
What a wonderful, wonderful person with 6 kids. Hey? None of us can complain we're busy anymore. She's nailing it. It's all about working smart, not hard, isn't it? Hey? It's about getting in the flow, having ideas, getting excited, being passionate about what you do. Gee, that's a consistent theme amongst all my guests. Time's not an issue when you love what you do. Sounds like a cliche, seems to be true. Can I share my top 3 learnings from that chat with Kylie with you? Thanks to the very good folk at Key Person of Influence. Go on, grab their free hard copy of their Amazon bestseller. It's an ace book. It'll keep you up at night. keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. Righto. Learning number 1. Be consistent with your tone of voice throughout your brand. It's easy to do. It's easy to forget too. Doesn't cost any more to be consistent, but boy, does it build some familiarity. Learning number 2, create a customer experience. Do all the little things really well. Individually, they don't really matter, but they add up. And all of a sudden, 1 + 1 equals, what's it equal? 11. I heard someone say 2. Bum, bum. Number 3, and if you want more customer experience love, go and check out the episode I did with Joshua Nichols from Platinum Electricians. He too is nailing the customer service experience. Such a great marketing strategy. Learning number 3, don't complain if you're busy. Kylie's got 6 children. If you're busy, maybe figure out how you can work smarter and not harder. I know, we're all time poor. I hear that. Watch a bit less telly. Spend a bit less time on social media. Spend time listening to less No. Gosh, goodness me. Less podcasts, ridiculous. Listen to more podcasts. Learn how to work smarter. That'd be a good thing. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that interview. Go on, head over to episode 263. Leave a comment in the show notes. That's how you and I communicate. Well, if you're not a member of the forum. But I do love seeing those show notes fill up. So do my guests. My guests respond. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com and look for episode 263. A very wise soul once said, "They laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at them because they're all the same." Now it's time to say goodbye. Plenty of marketing gold, though, coming up next week. The week after, I'm off to the Philippines for Friday week. Kind of check out the world of outsourcing. I'll be reporting back on that. Next week, I have a chat with a super smart charity marketer who started a cause that involves, ready for it? Pilfering toiletries from hotel rooms. I do that anyway. And I also speak to a leather handbag manufacturer who's teaching others how to steal his bags. He scratches his head, wondering what that's all about. Hey, be sure to grab your free hard copy of the Key Person of Influence Amazon bestseller over at keypersonofinfluence.com/Timbo. Get one for a friend, a mate. They'll love you forever. Hey, audio production for this show is done by the very wonderful Daryl Delirious Misson. Love you, Daz. And the music bed, oh yeah, created by the inimitable Lockie Doley. Love you too, Lockie. Hey, thanks, guys. If you need a speaker for an upcoming event, then I'm all yours. Check out timreid.com.au. If you want to surround yourself with motivated business owners and get cranking with some great marketing, head over to crankmymarketing.com and join the forum. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid. Always have been. Hopefully always will be. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.